Intuitive sensitives become the strongest mind by attending Inspire. Inspire 2019, the theme is Your Soul Story. So what is Inspire? Inspire is the only annual event for intuitive sensitive people, guiding you to develop a strong, creative and intuitive mind. So what's the theme for Inspire, that annual one-day event for intuitive sensitives to attend? Well, this year it is Your Soul Story. That is the main thing that we are working through for Inspire 2019. First, we need to look at what it is that's limiting your access to your soul story. Because when you know what is limiting your access to your soul story, you can work through that enough to access the depth of what it is that you are here to do. So the first thing in your way is hurt. Some of that is the history of what has happened through your life and that connection between your mind and your heart. And the third thing is fear. Well, as an intuitive sensitive, we all know about fear. Sometimes it creates a paralysis analysis or an analysis paralysis, or just purely, simply full-blown overwhelm. So we start your soul story by looking at the dark side of hurt. Why do we need to look at that? Because it's a big thing that affects us in a wider area than just ourselves. Mental health, for example, mental health issues account for 1/3 of adult disability globally. This does not mean that all intuitive sensitives have mental health issues, far from it. But this is a big thing that impacts you in your world and the hurt that the things create. As an example, by 2030, the international mental health crisis, yes, it's a crisis, will cost the global economy $16 trillion. Mental health is big business. The direct costs of mental health in England are now around £22.5 billion a year, which is more than 12% of the National Health Service total budget. So how does that translate for an intuitive sensitive? Why is that important to you? What difference does it make? Well, even if you haven't suffered a mental illness, those who carry a lot of hurt project it into your world. It impacts you and you store that for them. That makes you feel sometimes that you are very much on the receiving end of things that are not yours, but you don't know what to do with them. You wander around with them and they end up parked in your system, and that holds up your soul story. How does it translate into the world at large? Well, hurt expresses through anxiety. So people who carry hurt express that through anxiety and their interaction with you. They also fear confrontation, and they may not be honest about that. They hide it in other ways, through silent aggression, through passive aggressive means, which you may have been on the receiving end of in all kinds of situations, including work, family, friendships, all kinds of stuff, relationships. It shows us a lack of communication. Some people are afraid to communicate, even though they know, and you know, the best thing for them would be to do that. Or they may even neglect relationships, and some of those you've, again, been on the receiving end of, that have made you feel that you're not attended to in any way, and you think, what is it that I've done? What is it that I've done wrong? How have I made this happen? And in actual fact, it's got nothing to do with you. Often those people that you've been on the receiving end of, maybe who've got mental health issues going on in their own life, are very distracted and cannot provide the emotional connection that you need, or it is reasonable. So this all means that hurt has at times made you anxious, which has made you feel on other occasions worthless or not able to fully commit to things that you want to. It's also hurt has made you feel fearful of self-expression. Why? Because at times you have thought, well, if I express myself, it's going to upset somebody else. And that makes you feel, again, less than. And you've also been through the scenario where you feel you don't matter. You think, oh, well, I don't really matter. When absolutely you should. and your desires, expectations, wants are not elaborate, but they should be attended to, and they haven't been. So when it comes to your soul story, hurt, how does that show in your life? Well, the problem is that hurt says that your happiness is defined by others. Other people define how you feel about yourself, which doesn't make you feel as though you are in control of your own path moving forward. I know how that feels, because most definitely, more than once in my life, I have felt that I haven't been in control of my path forward. And that is something that's really important to an intuitive sensitive. So what's the solution? When it comes to your soul story, it's about owning what's yours. This is how you get back on your own path. You know, hurt is an energy, not a person. Again, it takes you back onto your own personal soul story. And the key thing is to clear the inner world of that hurt. Sometimes it's yours, sometimes it's the history. What is the problem around the history? Well, history says that you are not the authority, the history is. That's made you feel as though you're not in charge, that you're not able to make your own decisions around things. That has been devastating in some areas of your life when you've really wanted to move forward and you've been paralyzed by the emotion, the feeling that you have no authority to change things. When you step into your soul story, how does that show? Well, you recognize your soul story is the inner work that connects your spirituality, the essence of who you are, not the religion of who you are, the essence of who you are, with your emotional life. When those things connect, you have the whole you, which makes you feel confident in your life moving forward. Your soul story around fear. What's the real issue? Well, the problem is, do you know what? When your path is clouded with fear, what do you experience? Well, you spend your life over-pleasing, never saying no. You're affected by the fog, which is fear, obligation, and guilt. And there's a non-urgency. You think, oh, well, somehow or another it will sort itself out. That has made you feel that you can't change anything. And even if you did change something, you think, I'm not sure I have the guts to, I'm not sure I have the courage to. And understand how that is. I understand it, I've seen it numerous times, I've felt it myself, that do you know what? You've wondered, even though a big part of you has a core strength, whether you're courageous enough, whether you're enough. When it comes to your soul story, entering that path in terms of how you get back onto the path of who you are in terms of your own story, is you have to recognize that it's not done to you. When you're walking around feeling that something has been done to you, again, you feel out of control in being able to change it. That's when you go into over-pleasing, never saying no, fear, obligation, and guilt, and there's non-urgency of somehow or another it will figure itself out. You also need to realize that when you're in your soul story, that people reflect symptoms, not causes. They're not the cause of an aggravation or a problem or your fear. They simply reflect the symptom. When you are fully into that area of accepting that, moving into the soul aspect of that, you move on from situations that cause you issues very quickly. And of course, within that, you dissolve the patterns. So why do some of the things that you're doing right now not work for you, even though you've been trying for a long time, that you've been working on yourself, no doubt, for an awful long time? Why is it that some things don't shift? Well, when it comes to hurt, what you're actually saying to yourself in the unconscious is, well, do you know what? I just can't let go. I can't let it go. You know that a change is good for you. You know that it's good for you, but you think, I just can't let it go. Sometimes it's the history. It's the history between your mind and your heart can't let it go. That you feel, do you know what? It's the way it is. You have to live with it. You have no choice. That is the way that it's always been. That's the way it's done. That's the way it's presented. Or you feel, do you know what? I am just covered in fear. And that when you're covered in fear and overwhelm, you go into that whole space of, well, if you ignore it, it will just go away, and it may be what people have said to you. So the transformation, what makes you intuitive sensitive? Well, your transformation means you have the ingredients for a strong mind. You're an internalizer, which means that you are self-responsible. You don't expect the external world to solve it for you. You internalize and think, what is my responsibility? You want to let hurt go. You don't want to walk around with it, but sometimes you just don't know how to let it go. And you want the freedom. You want the freedom, the true essence of the freedom of who you are. And you know what? You are naturally empathic. So being naturally empathic means that you can shift anything you set your mind to. And you're always, as always, highly productive in a crisis. Most importantly, you seek truth and you're hungry for your life meaning to be of service. When you know your soul story, you find it easy to let go when you need to. You're free of the emotional pain others dump at your door, and you don't get caught up in the drama, their drama or any drama, and you can speak your truth without the fear of hurt. And there is no more overwhelm or worry about what it was that you did wrong, even if you're not sure you actually did anything wrong. Why? It's because you have the full story. Inspire 2019, what will happen? Well, when you attend this one-day event, you'll experience exclusive Inspire meditation processes to step into your inner world, to melt away what's been holding up your soul story. You will also travel through the energy of your endocrine system, the key area for you as an intuitive sensitive, to dissolve historic stagnation, those things that you've been holding you up, that you've had no control over, so that you can feel lighter and free. And you'll also share your soul story experiences to make sense of the symbolism. Your unconscious throws symbolism up at you and you don't necessarily know what it means. You're there at this attended event to be able to share what those experiences are, to make strong sense of that symbolism. When you make sense of the symbolism, you immediately move forward. So what if you can't get to Inspire 2019? You just can't get there? Well, you can buy the meditation-only version of Inspire to benefit from the processes experienced on the day. But you'll miss out on the questions, the connection, and the sharing that's part of the event. What if you're afraid to attend Inspire 2019 on your own? Maybe you think, oh, I'd like to go, but I don't really want to go on my own. Well, we have 20 tickets that we are gifting to close friends of intuitive sensitives attending Inspire 2019. How do you get one of those? Well, you apply for your free friend ticket when purchasing your ticket, or you can simply be brave, come alone, and you'll meet people just like you. Maybe it's too far for you to go for a day. You think, well, do you know what? I'd love to attend, but it's too far for me to go for a day. Well, people, intuitive sensitives from all over the world attend Inspire and turn it into a weekend trip or a longer holiday. Why do they do that? They do it because they know Inspire changes their life and it builds confidence without all the razz and the fist pumping. If you're worried that, well, if I go to one of these attended events, there's a lot of jumping around and fist pumping and hugging. No, we understand that intuitive sensitives like to internalize their experience, not hit it out into the external world, but you can if you want to. So how do you know if you're ready? What's ready as far as you're concerned? Well, to know peace, you must first know fear. You must first be afraid to be able to change anything. So if you're worried, oh, I'm not good enough, I don't feel I'm ready enough, of course you're ready, because your soul story is powered by hurt, history, and fear. Because without a driving force, no one seeks those incredible changing experiences. And your sensitivity and your instinct becomes the driving force for a truly strong mind. It's where you're ready to be at. So, intuitive sensitives, your soul story is waiting. You're ready to attend Inspire. Inspire It's a one-day event on Saturday. It is £45. Most one-day events like this are £225. Inspire attendees get, in addition to the attended event, the recorded meditations for free. These are professionally recorded meditations for free as part of that, so you can go home and do the stuff again, which you'll want to. We'll gift your bestie friend, your intuitive sensitive friend, a ticket if you want them to come. If you really want them to come, we'll gift you a ticket for them. And absolutely, it's time for you to attend Inspire, because you'll connect with like-minded people, you'll share and you'll grow. Even if you've done loads of work before, you will still get a lot from Inspire 2019. And if you've done no work before, you will also get loads from the event. This is purely for intuitive sensitive people. So become the strongest mind and attend Inspire 2019. Book your Inspire 2019 ticket now, because transformation happens when you have clarity, not goals. Go to heidisawyer.com/inspire, where you will see all the details and buy your ticket. I look forward to seeing you